Sometimes I feel stuck. You know those moments when you're just wasting time? I catch myself doing this way too often. Scrolling, watching, waiting. For what exactly? One day I decided enough was enough. I grabbed a book because why not? I didn't know it at the time, but this one decision was about to change everything. I started reading everywhere. One book led to another, and another, and another. Some of them were just okay, but a few, they were life-changing. So here are the 5 books that helped me build my business, and maybe I'll inspire you to read them too. Let's dive in. So the first book I would recommend is The Greek and Roman Myths by Philip Matizak. Now this book might not seem like the obvious choice for a business book or for creating a business, but it taught me the timeless art of storytelling. Myths were the original framework for all of the stories being told and passed down through generations. And clearly, it worked pretty well, seeing as all of these myths got passed down to someone in the 21st century. Now, in business, every ad, every video, every post needs to tell a story, and it needs to actually connect with the audience in some way and make them feel a certain way. And in the ancient Roman and Greek times, these stories really invoked feeling in people and really entertained, because a story doesn't have to make someone feel something emotional in any way. It can just simply entertain them. This book dives into ancient myths, showing how heroes, challenges, and resolutions resonate universally. And from this book, I learned how to structure certain narratives to make any audience engaged with my content, whether that be on Instagram or YouTube. And stories from these myths remind us that the human experience hasn't changed much. We all love conflict, drama, and triumph. And when I brainstorm ideas, I think about the hero's journey, and it's basically this big circle that the hero goes through in any story that is being told, especially in this book. And it's very, very prevalent in a lot of these myths. And basically the hero's journey is the entire story altogether. At the top, it's this sort of familiar environment that the hero is in, and then there's sort of this catalyst that happens, whether it's like this mythical figure coming to them and giving them a quest or whatever, and then it goes down into this bottom portion of this little circle, and that's the main conflict of the story, and then it goes back up and it goes back into their regular world, and then eventually the resolution is at the very, very top again, and that's basically the hero's journey. And that was taught to me through this book and also in school as well. It's also great for understanding psychology and knowing why certain ideas fade and why certain ideas stick around. Book number 2 is Way of the Superior Man by David Daida. This book is all about aligning your actions with your own purpose in life. It emphasizes a lot of balance in your life and how to stay focused even when things seem very, very overwhelming. I'll flip to one of the chapters in this book. For example, rule number 10 is enjoy your friend's criticism. And enjoy your friend's criticism basically means take your friend's criticism to heart and learn from it, because they're not really trying to hurt you in any way, and they're just trying to help you. And the overarching theme in this whole book is learning to navigate certain challenges with confidence and calmness. But this book has taught me to manage stress without losing sight of my goals. The book tells you to sort of take a step back from everything that you're doing, especially when you have a conflict or you're facing a problem in your life, and to sort of take a step back, take a deep breath, and come at it from the light of sort of clarity and intention rather than fear or some other emotion. And this book encourages you to sort of find the edge of your comfort zone and live right at that edge of your comfort zone, and so you can constantly be learning and putting yourself out there and really seeing the growth happen. And it's also taught me a lot about how success isn't just shown externally, but also has to be felt internally, because it's really tough if you're very successful in life and don't really feel fulfilled with your life. And so to me, that's not really success. And so this book has taught me to align with your goals and passions more so that you will become more fulfilled in life, even if that means sacrificing a little money down the line. Book number 3 is This Is How You Make a Movie by Tim Grierson. And as someone who loves cinematography, this was an absolute game changer for me, My dad got it for me for a holiday, and my dad gave it to me for a holiday, and this book really showed me how to tell stories visually through the lens of the camera rather than driven by words. There are so many pages in this book where it shows you how to frame certain shots, like in Deadpool or Amelie, and it really just shows you all the different camera angles that you will inevitably be using if you're a cinematographer or someone like me who's building their personal brand and wants to invoke feeling and wants to tell stories in their content. And it also focuses on editing as well, and focused on fast-paced transitions, and it's focused on how the editing can really tell the story as well as the shots that you're taking as well. So as I started to apply these techniques of editing and filmmaking, my viewership and my content engagement rates really shot up. And also, understanding cinematography made me a better storyteller in all areas of business. And it's taught me how to think like a director. What's the purpose of this scene, and how does it serve the bigger picture? And even if you're not into filmmaking, this book is a masterclass in creativity and storytelling. Book number 4 is Read People Like a Book by Patrick King. This book is all about understanding human behavior. And I saw it on one of those cringy Instagram reels where it's like, oh, I know dark psychology. And I thought it was really funny. But I took a look at the book and I thought it was actually quite interesting. And you can see I have all these highlighted sections and all of this sort of stuff. And it's really good to take notes in a book because especially this book is very, very nuanced. And it basically tells you how to notice and analyze someone's emotions, thoughts, and small moves even. And it breaks down subtle cues that people give through their body language and even their tone of voice. And I also learned how to sort of read between the lines in conversations, which is very, very helpful in sales. And it also tells of how to spot dishonesty, hesitation, or even interest. And in business, negotiations and even success comes down to what people really, really want. And so even though they're telling you one thing, they could mean a totally different thing. And this book is sort of helping you notice those smaller things and read between the lines to hopefully get down to what people really want and what they're really trying to say. Finally, the last book, and the book that I'm currently reading, is 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. This book is intense, but it's full of practical examples of all of the different laws that Robert Greene says about strategy and leadership. He breaks down a lot of power dynamics that take part in everyday life, and he uses a lot of historical examples like Napoleon and even everyday people and how it plays out for them depending on the rule that he says. I also learned this book, when placed in the wrong hands, can be very, very devastating to whoever comes across them, but someone like me and someone like hopefully you, if you read that, it's very, very pertinent to business. And I see it all the time, and I was talking to my family about it, and they see it all the time with certain people that they work with, and they say that it really pertains to their life as well. And so I think this book, if I had to recommend any of the books that I've just recommended, I would say 48 Laws of Power is definitely the way to go for your first read. It's a bit bulky, it's about 400 pages, but I read about half an hour to 45 minutes every day, and I'm almost to the halfway point, and I'm really strongly recommending it. It must be a good book. And each of these books taught me something very, very unique, like storytelling, self-mastery, visual creativity, human psychology, and even work. And I always keep them on my shelf, and I occasionally reread them, and I go through and I learn something new every single time. And if you're ever looking for inspiration for videos like this, just pick up one of these books and you never know, it might change your path. So that's going to be it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed these 5 books that will make you rich in 2025. All of the links to these books will be in the description below if you want to check them out. But that's all for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one.